Hey Legacy community, it's a Terra Master, and welcome to a video to explain speed duel tag dueling. We're going to quickly show you how to set it up and explain some of the tag duel exclusive rules, most of which are because of dueling book limitations. And here to help me out with this, because I could not do a tag duel by myself as much as I would have maybe wanted to, although who would want to do that? What am I saying? Alright, Justice is here, who is the founder of Judgment Gaming, which is the team I am a member of. What's up, Justice?
Hey, Terra Master, how you doing?
Good. Thank you for being here and helping me out do this. So, I am logged into 2 accounts. You are logged into 2 accounts on Dueling Book. We are both multi-logging here. It's not against the rules, I think I checked. Okay. So I'm going to do here with my original Terra Master account, and right before you host, so everything is normal. You go into your lobby, you select your speed duels, you select your 2 out of 3 match. All that is good. And then this little green box here, which you'll see I'm unclicking and clicking right now. So you just hit this tag duel button and make sure it's checked, and then you host. And then when you host, you select your skill. Not only the host of your team gets to select the skill for your entire team. That's right, Dueling Book only allows 1 skill per team in a tag duel. So it's not ideal, it's not how I would have set it up, but Dueling Book is our platform, so 1 skill per team. So once I've picked my skill and I host, you see it says tag partner in the host instead of like just a normal host. So that'll show you is that if you were to go into that person's hosting, like I did right there, and I have to actually select the speed duel deck, there we go. Now it'll pop up here on my other account, and I accept that user and we become a tag team. So see how that tag partner thing went to tag team now? Now Justice has to do the same thing in order to be my opponent. So both teams have to do this process in order to form up. So he forms a tag partner host, and then he forms his own tag team over there. And then one of you has to go click on the other one, and then one tag team accepts another, and that's how the duel starts. Alright. And you should select your more skilled player as the host, because that's who will play the rock, paper, scissors. Something that's obviously necessary to point out, because as you can see, I selected me, as I am obviously the more skilled player among me and me. So, I won the rock, paper, scissors.
I do need to clarify the record that due to a technical issue, this is our second time having to record this video, and I thought we were just recreating the RPS from last time, which I definitely won, so you're a cheater, sir.
Hey, I'll tell you this, and this might give away my secrets, but when I click without thinking, I click rock 99% of the time. So there's that. Anyway, so this is, I think a good place to start is that you will see if you go first, obviously the player you see, whose hand you see, is the player who will actually get to use those cards first. However, if I make my play, so here we go, just gonna normal summon a White Dragon Head and pass the turn over, you'll see what happens to Justice's side. Yeah, it switched players. So the point is, it switches players every single draw phase. Now I'm going to let Justice explain a little bit about the skills and do a little sample turn.
Sure. So I'll tell you what. Actually, let's switch the order up just based on the cards that I have available to me here.
Oh, okay.
I'm just actually gonna go ahead and set a monster and then have you attack into it, and we'll talk about that in a little bit.
Okay, that sounds good. As I have to switch tabs here to go to the other account, because it's going to switch players. Right now. I think this is perfect. I drew a life point cost card, so I think I can show this off. So Dark Magic Curtain would, if you look at the life points, and you can see that they're clearly 6,000 according to the visual display there. So if I try to subtract 3,000, it went to 5,000. So one thing to point out is that there is a life point bug in Dueling Book for speed duel tag duels. Instead of setting both players to 6,000 life points, like it should, it sets one team to 8,000 and one team to 4,000. So just can you lose a few life points really fast to show that?
Sure.
Yeah, you see that? He lost 3,000 as well, and his went down all the way to 1,000. So the first time you lose life points, you'll have to readjust to what they actually should be. So I go back up to 6, and I go down to what I actually should be, which is 3,000. So it's a minor inconvenience, but I've put a little bit more time into each round to deal with stuff like that. So I've given an extra 5 minutes from usual speed duel rules. So hopefully that's enough. Anyway, so let's just go ahead and resolve the Dark Magic Curtain now. I'll bring out the boy, the Dark Magician, and then I'll attack, and we'll see what Justice wanted to talk about on an attack.
Alrighty, so Dark Magician's going to attack, and it hit my Apprentice Magician.
Okay, perfect.
So let's talk about floaters. So Apprentice Magician lets me search my deck. The person searching the deck will always be the active player. So in this case, I am the same player that set that apprentice. But let's say, if I set another one here. But let's say it was the other person that did it. So this is on the Seto Kaiba account. Let's say it was on my Justice account. Justice would be the one searching the deck for the Apprentice Magician effect. So it's not about who initially owned the card, it's just whoever the active player is that gets to use that floater effect.
Yeah, so right now, you see Justice, his account went active now. So if Apprentice was to die by battle right now, say you suicided, right? So now, it would have to be you who looks into that deck, which is active. And see that? He had a level 2 or lower spellcaster. That's synergy you gotta... So, again, right there with floaters, so if you're gonna play a floater like Apprentice Magician, recommended that you build your deck with synergy like that, so that both players can use each other's effects.
Right, exactly. So, let's play this out. Let's say I want to destroy this by Dragon Head.
Yep.
Now, I'm a conflict deck, so I want to use my inner conflict skill.
Yep. And you've already fixed your life point bug, so it should actually work correctly.
And then I'm going to go ahead and tribute off this Dark Magician for my Kaiser Glider, which is great. So we did a normal conflict play. Now, here's the thing. Inner conflict, as we know, is once per duel. Now, I've already used Inner Conflict here on the Justice account. It is once per duel, it is shared between both players, which means the Seto Kaiba account cannot also activate Inner Conflict since it is only once per duel. We have used up our skill.
Yep. So once per duel skills, be careful if you choose to use them, in that, remember, once per duel is strictly once per duel for the entire team.
Alright, so I'm just going to go ahead and pass back to you so you can kind of show the other side of that.
Yes. So I'll switch back over to an actual Union deck here. And to speed things up, I'll say that I have magic powers and can discard a card.
Hey.
And then I'll flip up my skill, which is not once per duel. It's actually once per turn. So this is an example of a skill that both players would be able to use, assuming the graveyard had the materials for them. So any skill that meets the condition and is once per turn, or if it's a continuous skill, then you can go ahead and have it active and both players can use it. So I've used it, and now if I was to switch, if I was to be on my other account and not have unions in the graveyard, but if I set him a scramble, then my partner can activate the scramble that I set for them, because something on the field is the active player can use regardless of who has it. But like we talked about earlier, the Sphere Kuriboh is a hand trap, so if you can't see the hand, if you can't see the card in the hand, you can't use a card that you can't physically discard to use to pay the cost. Okay.
Right, and that's basically the way to think about it. Whatever you see on the screen is what can be interacted with. So if it's your deck that's on the screen, you're the one that can interact with it, your partner can't. If it's your hand that's on the screen, you can use your hand, your partner cannot use theirs. So, like in this case, let's say, Terra Master's going to attack me here, and Justice is the active player, but Seto Kaiba had a Sphere Kuriboh in hand. Too bad, can't use it to protect, because that hand is not what's currently active.
Yeah, exactly. So, essentially, only the active player can activate effects. So,
right.
If there's an effect that triggers, like that Apprentice Magician play we talked about, So if there's a deck among the two of your decks that does not have an Apprentice target, and that's the active deck, then Apprentice cannot activate, because only the active player can use effects. So there you have it. And because the graveyards and the banish piles are shared, as are the fields, cards that only affect those places can actually be used by either player when they're active.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. So I think that about covers it up. Is there anything else you wanted to talk about?
Yeah, and I think this will kind of tie into time rules too. My biggest suggestion for your team is make sure you are using voice comms in some way. Use Discord, use something to use voice, because if you are having to type to each other every time you need to work out a play, it's going to take a whole lot of time.
Yeah, and I will say right now, as the tournament host, the organizer, that I am going to be a little more strict on slow play than others have been in the past, and that's just because it's caused a lot of issues, and I would really like for a game not to go to time. So if you're taking 3 to 4 minutes per turn and most of it is not doing anything, then I'm gonna have to do something about that. So don't do that, and like he said, be on voice chat so that you avoid that situation as much as possible. Alright, I think that's it. Unless you have any closing words, I think we're good here.
I think that pretty much covers everything to be aware of.
Alright, well, the Yu-Gi-Oh! Legacy Discord to join this tournament will be in the description below. The Twitch channel on which this will be streamed will be in the description below. It will be on Sunday, March 21st at 1 p.m. Eastern. Hope to see you there. Bring me some spice. Show me the spice. Show me the spicy combinations of decks you can come up with. Justice's Twitch, where he streams JDS, which is the Judgment Duel series, right? Do I know what I'm saying?
You got it.
Yeah, so he tries to host that big speed duel tournament once a month, and he will stream it on that. I will put his Twitch in the description below as well. He puts a prize pool up for his tournaments as well. This one has a prize, a small, modest prize of $30 as well for the first place team. So with that, Terra Master and Justice out.